Million views. YouTube's fault. It's all YouTube's fault. A million views. It's a million views. YouTube's fault. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm John Holmes, and I'm addicted to e-bikes. If you are a regular subscriber to our channel, as opposed to irregular subscribers, in my last Sur Ron video, I said that I would not get another bike. And I'm blaming YouTube on this one. It is all YouTube's fault. I got a million views on this video, even though I didn't think that I'd get one view on it, because hey, I'm into RC cars and this is an electric bike, so who gives a flip what I think, right? Evidently enough people do, or maybe it's only YouTube that does, and they tell everybody that they should watch it. But at any rate, however I want to justify the purchase, I ended up getting another bike. And I'm not quite sure if it's a problem with me collecting bikes. I mean, I only have like 25 bikes right now, or if it's a problem with things that have wheels, because I have 25 bikes and 40, almost 50 rock crawlers at the moment. But it has electricity, it has wheels, it is definitely my bag. So when Ludicrous came out with a limited edition of the Light Bee, and I know for sure that this one is a Light Bee from Sur Ron because it said so right on the box, I just couldn't help myself. They did all of the modifications that I would want to do myself, and they charged less money than it would cost me to do them myself on top of that. So what they did is essentially turn this thing into what I believe is the ultimate lightweight e-bike. And we can even go further with this design. So let's talk about what they actually did to this bike versus the original and the Light Bee that you can buy every day. As you can see, this comes with the standard RST killer shocks. They are pretty stiff, as they should be for a motorcycle, lightweight e-motorcycle that goes this fast. Top speed on this one is about the same. Going downhill with a wind at your back, about 52 miles an hour fresh off the charger. Otherwise, about 48 miles an hour in the normal unlimited mode. In limited mode, it goes 30 miles an hour and has 3 brake horsepower, which is perfect for Missouri laws. But otherwise, if I want to use it off-road, we can put it in the high power mode and go fast. But as you can see, this one actually came with these smaller 17-inch wheels with the slicks on it. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the tread profile of these slicks, so I'm either going to change out the tires to something like a Trail Wing or a Shinko 244 or 241, or maybe even throw the 19-inch wheels on there that Ludicrous will be providing to me. But besides the different smaller tires and really hot red pinstriping on this, you can tell that there is a belt drive on the rear of this. And this was to make it a more quiet operation, and kind of a stealthy bike, if you will. And indeed, it is a lot more quiet on the street, especially at higher speeds when that chain noise is going to be, making a clatter. And for riding around in the 30-mile-an-hour mode, I actually really like it. The only thing that I really hear is the wind noise in my ears. So it's really cool. I don't think that I'd want to ride it off-road, though, because belts, even though it's a tooth belt, it's a synchronous belt system from Gates Drive, I'm really not wanting to throw dirt into that belt. I don't want to get mud into the belt. I don't want to rock to kick up and break my belt or put a notch into the cogs. So I'm probably not going to be off-roading this bike like I do this one, which I honestly, I don't even off-road this one much. I just kind of use it as a 30-mile-an-hour cruiser. I re-geared this bike, so it's about 35 miles an hour top speed, and it works extremely well for commuting. It's not out of the ordinary to be right next to a 50cc bike, essentially. But besides the wheels, besides the belt drive, what else did Ludicrous change on this? Well, for one, they modified the BMS, the battery management system inside the battery, to allow us to pull twice the current. So what does twice the current give you on a bike, anything electric? Twice the current will give you twice the torque at the wheel. So to match what the BMS would output, they also modified our motor speed controller, which is located down here. And they increased our phase amps by 2. I don't know if they increased the battery amps by 2. I would assume that they did, because this bike in normal unlimited mode has twice the power and twice the torque of this bike with stock gearing. So needless to say, it is a hoot to ride. It has lots of torque. If you are in unlimited mode, I wouldn't call it a wheelie machine. I used to have Ninja 636, and that guy in first gear was kind of hard to keep the front wheel down. You really had to lean against it if you just pinned the throttle. On this guy, if I lean forwards, the front wheel stays down the entire time. If I want to wheelie, just kind of, pop back a little bit. But it has definitely more torque than the original bikes do, which makes it quite fun to ride around. The other changes that they did, Really slick carbon fiber on the battery box. You can see the red hand pinstriping that they did. They also included a custom-made seat in California. It's got a nice suede exterior to it. It doesn't slip around as much. It also has much better padding. It is a much more comfortable seat. And all in all, it makes this bike much more comfortable to ride. The other changes that they did to this particular Ludicrous R version was a better headlight on the front, tail lights on the rear that actually are actuated with your brake lever, and they even gave blinkers on here, which I'll be honest, I didn't notice that there was actually blinkers on this bike, and I have been riding it for about 50 miles with my right turn signal on the entire time. C'est la vie. I learned last night at dark when I was riding around. I was like, what's that yellow flashing coming from my bike? So I turned it off. Now I know. But really cool. Now, they only did a limited number of these from Lunicycle. So you can't get one. They've all been sold out. They only did 20. My bike is a number 3 out of 20 on the run. But what this does is it proves what the bicycle can be, what the electric motorcycle can be, which is, to my knowledge to date, the lightweight ultimate electric motorcycle. This is by far the best geometry that I have ridden. This is by far the lightest motorcycle that I have ridden that puts out this sort of power. So it really feels like riding the weight of a 50cc bike with the size of a 110, and in Ludicrous mode, it feels like the torque of a 225. But with all the lightweight, you know, it's kind of a wheelie machine, super short wheelbase. It's pretty dang fun to ride. I really enjoy it, and no buyer's remorse on this. Now, I will say there was one problem that we had in shipping, and that is that the rear shock got damaged somehow in shipping. I believe it was one of the accessory boxes that were inside the box ended up maybe, getting slid or jacked into the rebound knob. I think maybe that's what happened. No, there's no way it could have hit that box. At some point, the rebound knob got damaged, and so the bike kind of jacks down. And a testament to Lunicycle's customer service, they are sending me a new shock, and we will be back on the road. It still rides just fine. It's just it packs up in the rear. And having a vendor that will support you when those issues do happen is absolutely fantastic to have. I really can't speak highly enough about Lunicycle. I think what y'all probably want to see is the difference in noise between these with the belt drive system. So I'm just going to do a little quick go around right here. You will hear what I hear on the bike. Not going to go fast, not going to go far, but you will hear the growl from the controller. This is the original trapezoidal style controller that they modified, so it does make a little when it starts up. So maybe you can hear. Let me know if you can't though. So do any of y'all have Sur Rons, and how much do you like driving them? Or do you have a different e-bike? Maybe an electric motorcycle or an electric bicycle? Is it as cool as this though? Freaking blinkers. Blinkers, man. Look at that. I can tell people where I'm going. And right now, where I'm going is straight with a full pull. So see if you can hear anything on this bike. And now it's time for the original bike, and this one is geared down by 20%. So it has 20% faster launch and also 20% lower top speed. And it sounds like I just wore out the brake pads, the very last pull possible on them. So, no time better than now to set this one aside. So there you have it. Could you hear a difference between the two? I could certainly hear a difference actually riding them, especially at the end where I wore out the brake pad on this one. I looked and it's rubbing against steel now. That happened just then. So hey, got to see something cool, I guess. Do you think that this is worth it though? It was an upgrade of almost $2,000 compared to the sale price that they have them at Lunicycle for this model versus this model. Would you buy the upgraded version if they did another run of them? So if you wouldn't go for the Ludicrous model, is the original version good enough for you? Do you think that you would get pulled over in your town riding either of these around? Here in Columbia, I really don't have a problem with it, especially since I keep them under 35 miles an hour and I don't ride them dumb. I like to keep this one in the 30-mile-an-hour mode, and it is 3 horsepower or less, so it is legal to ride around in Missouri. All in all though, I really like both of these bikes. If I'm gonna go riding off-road, I would prefer to have the chain drive because they're just more stout and I can, throw a stick through the thing or get some rocks kicked up into it and it's not gonna break the belt. But for riding around on the street, the belt drive is super quiet, super smooth, and I really do like the way that it feels. So for just commuting back and forth to work and from my house, I do think that I will end up choosing this bike a lot more than I will end up choosing this one. And to tell you the truth, some of my employees have already claimed this as the shop bike. So it's gonna be kind of hard to pull it out of their hands. All in all, I really love the bikes though. And I do believe that this is still the ultimate lightweight e-bike in the world. But maybe there's one that's come out that I am not aware of in this price range. So if we're talking $5,000 or less, do you know of anything that comes close to matching the performance, lightweight, and good looks of these bikes? Let me know in the comments because I want to hear about it. I've seen a bunch of new bikes out, but they're all in like the $10,000 to $12,000 range, and nobody is coming close to touching these. So maybe somebody will. This is a good time for the market to respond and try to knock Sur Ron off of this. It's been, what, close to 2 years now, and nobody has made a bike that comes close to the specs that the Sur Ron has. The Light Bee, which it is officially now the Light Bee. And with that, I do bid you adieu. Let me know if you have any further questions in the comments. Give us a like, a subscribe, hit the little bell thingy if you want to see more videos in the future. And I thank you for tuning in. Have a good one.